Excellent.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
This is Don Lewis, my husband. I'm Stephanie Jones. Yes, we're married. We have different last names. Deal with it. Okay. So for new members, we are WT, USAT, data and facts. We try to stick to data and facts. It's kind of hard sometimes because you get opinions based on the data and facts, and so we like that too. But we always try to go back to the data and facts. So a quick intro. We've got a lot of new members. We want to welcome everybody, and a lot of people are probably like, who are these weird people that like do all this work and like where are they? So we've done a few videos in the past. So we're just going to do a really quick intro and introduce Don Lewis. Why don't you tell us just like in 1 minute a summary about yourself?
I'm a geologist in the mining industry, discovered a bunch of gold mines, ran a government geologic survey, married this wonderful woman. She had a great daughter who was big into Taekwondo already.
You adopted.
I adopted her.
She was already a black belt.
She got her 3rd degree black belt. We went hard in Taekwondo. She competed nationally, internationally, and I coached her, and we both trained her. Stephanie Jones is a fitness trainer, consultant,
engineer,
nutrition expert.
Well, my background's actually I was an engineer and a quality manager in the automotive industry, and I used to teach statistical process control and trained all the gauging technicians, the technical technicians for measuring. So Don and I both have business degrees. He has an MBA, I have a BBA. He's a geology degree. Mine is in exercise physiology, my master's is. So we both love fitness and we are both data driven. And our daughter has now retired. She retired right before COVID hit. And so, but we still love Taekwondo, and so we've maintained the group that we started, WT, USAT, Data and Facts, since 2019. And apparently a lot of people like data and facts in regards to Taekwondo because it's not controversial. It's showing visually measurements and things that can't be measured, and exposing the facts of all thereof.
Right.
So,
and it's data that we've compiled, and actually, frankly, any and all of you could do it too. It just takes quite a bit of time and dedication.
It's very time consuming.
So it's repeatable, verifiable,
Yep.
just like the scientific method.
What is the scientific method?
Why don't you tell me?
It's observable, measurable, testable, and repeatable. Anybody can be a scientist. You can do it yourself. Observable, measurable, testable, repeatable. That's what we try to stick to. We don't always, we fail sometimes, and people, they let us know when we've, oh, that's wrong. Okay, we're like, oh, you're right, we are wrong. So feel free to let us know when we're wrong. But anyway, good intro. I think we're good.
I think it's done.
Because what we really want to talk about today are the Pan Am Series Brazil 2023. The tournament, it was a G1. It was in Rio. And there was 96 Brazilian athletes competing.
Yep, 255 total.
Yes, of all athletes.
Yes.
They were almost
40%.
Yeah. And there were 16 United States of America athletes.
Yep.
And now, I just have to clarify. Now, on the live video, it labeled all the Americans as USA Academy team, and that was actually not true. So we had literally an athlete from the USA Army,
Calvin Harris.
Yep, and we had a TOPS, which is AAU TOPS athlete, which was
Caitlin
Cox. And was there anyone else?
Yeah, we've got some others that are not officially part of the academy.
Well, Michael Rodriguez isn't part of the academy.
Michael Rodriguez.
And he got a gold.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so we want to start out with the positive. We're going to talk about the good, bad, and the ugly. Okay. So I know everybody wants to be positive. Okay, that's not how life works. It's good. Yes, we want to be positive, but we also have to be realistic with the data and the facts. So, let's start out with the great venue.
Right. It was very impressive. They laid it out in some sort of small arena. It looked almost like a hockey rink, but they don't think they play hockey there, so it was something similar. And they had a huge.
How many rings were there? Like
they showed five, but they mostly used 3 in Taekwondo.
For choreography, right?
Yeah. There was Poomsae and team events there too, so we didn't really focus on those things. We saw photos courtesy of Juan Moreno of the warm-up area, and it was gigantic backstage.
Yeah, it was huge.
And lots of warm-up mats. The athletes and coaches must have been very happy with that.
But there weren't a lot of spectators.
No, I didn't see any spectators except for probably team members, and so we don't know if they weren't allowed for some reason.
I think some venues don't allow spectators, and then like Guadalajara, it was like Spectator City, and it was on live TV. But I think this one was also. I'm trying to think of that TV. That's a South American TV channel. Because they were showing it in the video. CBTKD.tv.
That's Brazilian Taekwondo.
Was that?
Was it Up? Are you talking about Up?
No.
No. Okay.
Anyway, there was I think it was also, which the U.S. doesn't ever show any of Taekwondo on television at all.
Right.
So people don't even know that it's an Olympic sport up here.
And throwing in this more spectator comments from other events, the Bulgarian Open, which is a huge G2 in Europe, had actually 0 spectators, whereas the U.S. Open that was held on the same days in early March, we had thousands of very enthusiastic spectators from all over the world.
It had a lot.
It was great.
Spirit.
The U.S. Open was fantastic
was
as far as
of,
spectators goes.
Good energy. It was
Wonderful energy for the U.S. athletes.
Yeah. Let's see. You've got down here good YouTube except scoreboard.
Yeah. So so the YouTube worked well.
The live video stream.
Live video streaming.
That TKD did.
Yeah. And
with PATU.
The only problem
it was
really
actually
had,
great. I mean,
well, there's two main problems, and they're just sort of irritating to us trying to collect data. The little scoreboard that they manually put up on the bottom usually did not reflect what the actual true scoreboard showed in the background, either for score or for time left, and sometimes not even the right athletes. So that was a little frustrating, but we could usually see the scoreboard in the background. We just couldn't see all the details on it, like who had the green light and all that kind of stuff.
It was still 100 times better than this live video at U.S. Open.
Oh my gosh.
Las Vegas.
And a million infinite times better than the Canada Open, which had none.
It had none. So let's not complain.
There you go.
We can work with the TKD and their live video stream. It was high quality. There weren't hardly any
They showed the entire ring.
Yeah, and they didn't. Yeah, there was no moving it around. And you can't, only 2/3 of the ring you can't see. What happened over here? But no, they did a great job. You also have on here Pan Am countries.
Yeah, so there's
255 athletes. We already talked about that. 96 Brazil, 16 USA athletes. You did some charts on that too, on winners. How many Brazilians got gold?
Yeah, Brazil led the way with 6 gold, 6 silver, and 12 bronze. A fabulous performance. Of course, it was in home country, and their athletes really turned out.
Well,
but
the Brazilians are great athletes.
They're really good. They're a great team. They did slightly better than the U.S. at the U.S. Open. So don't say that it was just because it was at home. Other countries did well too. We were second best, but we were very proud of our performance. We'll talk about that.
Per capita, we only had 16 athletes there, and 9 of them medaled.
Right. So very impressive. Mexico and Canada both earned 5 medals with 2 golds. Chile was actually the surprise to me. They had quite a few. They had 23 athletes there, and they won 7 medals, including a gold. So Chile is really seeming to be coming on. They had to travel a little bit, but by comparison, it's almost next door. But yeah, Chile. Way to go, Chile. Salute.
All right. So you messed up all my notes that I had. Did you just completely delete my notes?
No, they're on there. They're coming.
All right.
Let's talk about the U.S. performance.
I think we just did.
No, we didn't. We didn't talk about who won golds and all that.
All right, let's talk about who are our gold medalists.
Our gold medalists were C.J. Nicholas, Madeline Gorman-Shore, Alina Viana, and Michael Rodriguez. So they all did a great job. Madeline actually had the most dominant performance of any athlete that we paid attention to there, and I believe the most ever. She, in her 3 matches, she outscored her opponents 51-7. Several of the actual rounds, the other opponent had 0. So Madeline breezed through. She looks like she's totally healed up and looking great. CJ, he looked, you know, by comparison with the US Open, where he did a lot of very dynamic stuff.
He just wasn't as fancy.
He was not as fancy, and he was just trying to win.
But
And
he
did.
won.
He won gold.
Do what you gotta do.
It was a workmanlike performance for CJ, and hey, you got your points. Oh, by the way, CJ now has maxed out his 40 regular points that you're allowed to have in World Taekwondo for Olympic ranking. He needed 8, he got 10 here, so he's, you know, he doesn't get the last 2. He's maxed out at 40 points, and now he has to get points at the World Championships, Grand Prix, Pan Am Games, and also
That's important for people to know.
and the President's Cup.
I don't think a lot of people understand the point system.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about that
We should
another
talk
time.
about that.
Yeah.
No, I think we should talk about it now.
Okay. So this year, the top athletes could win as many as 500 points. The big ones are the World Champ.
WT points.
These are all World Taekwondo
Okay,
points.
right.
This doesn't
Not
include
USA points.
USA Grand Slam things or whatever they call stuff,
They're
national
WT
championships or AAU. It doesn't count any of those points. It's all World Taekwondo points at G events, and the G event number tells you basically how many points are available. G1.
Multiplied.
Yeah, G1, the gold medal's worth 10 points. G2, 20 points. World Championships is a G14, 140 points.
Olympics.
We don't have Olympics this year, but we have 4 Grand Prix. The 3 initial Grand Prix are G6s, 60 points each, and the final is 100 points. You add all that up, and it actually totals up to a maximum of 500 points this year. Last year, Zhongxi Luo from China actually earned
57.
500
57.
points.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
which
met-
is unheard of.
Yeah. So yeah, there's some speculation about things about that athlete. Okay. USA won, so we won 4 gold,
Yep.
and we won 4 silver.
Let's mention the silver medalists too.
And our bronze too.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm talking, teach out. She's my brawler. She's my girl. I love her. In my opinion, just watching, I showed some clips. She had a 5-point turning head kick. Didn't score. And I don't know why there was no protest. The blue protested, which was odd. We went back and like frame by frame, looked at it. There was no head kick from blue. It was an obvious spinning head kick from Christina Teachout, and she didn't get it, and they gave her a gamjong because she fell, you know, doing it. And then right before that, there was a protest from blue, which they got, and then they start again, and there's this another ghost head kick. So like right out of the gate, blue got, Christina was red, got 6 points. One was a protest because the PSS system didn't register it. And then, it's like the ghost decided to gift her another 3 points. Blue.
Yeah.
There was no head kick.
Right.
If at best it was a chest kick.
Right.
And then, so she had to come back from that, and then she lost the first round to blue, and the points should have been reversed. She should have had 5 points, because I think if you get a spinning head kick and you fall, they don't give you the gamjong. Is that correct, or am I wrong?
That's correct.
Okay.
So since we mentioned this, there's a bullet point later to talk about the ghost points. So let's mention it right now just to cover it.
Phantom head, yeah.
Yeah, so in men's heavyweight, there was this bizarre event with Rafael Alba from Cuba against a Ecuadorian guy, where at the start of the second round, Alba, just sort of warming up, does sort of a cut kick towards the Ecuadorian, and 3 points come up for the head. And he steps back, 3 more come up, and then 6 more come up. He got 12 points by doing a cut kick that didn't even connect. So they stopped the match, and they removed the points, and let's start over. Let's start over. So they start over. The exact same thing happened, where all of a sudden 6 points go up for 2 headshots. He didn't even touch him. Didn't even make an attempt to touch him. So they stopped it again. And what I think they actually did at that point was turn off the system, because no points registered in that match, and really no points registered in the next match with Jonathan Healy, where Jonathan Healy's matches were, he won 1-0 and 1-1 in these 2 rounds from a couple punches and a gamjong across the 2 athletes. So the same thing in the Alba's fight, they just turned it off. That's the only explanation I can come up with, because no chest kicks, no head kicks, only punches and gamjongs delivered by the referees. We'll come back to the referees later.
Oh,
So
they were horrible.
yeah, so the silver medalists, let's mention them. You mentioned
Yes.
Christina Teachout in women's 67.
Yep.
Kalfani Harris
Yep.
had a good day. He had some
did
tough
really
fights,
good.
but he did
Yep.
great. Kalfani Harris from WCAT,
He's a U.S. Army.
world-class athlete
Yep.
program. So yeah, he did great. We also had, I'm going to struggle here. Oh, Sophia Oshigura in 53.
Yep.
She
did
got a
really
silver
well.
medal. It's a pretty good outcome.
She did great.
And there's one more. We'll come back to that. We'll think of it.
No. Well, it's on your paperwork. You drew all the paperwork down.
Oh, yeah, I
so
did,
go
didn't I?
through it. That's why we have it. This
Yeah. So,
Just get it.
oh, Jonathan Healy won a bronze,
Yeah, that's our bronze.
but that's
yes.
not what we're talking about. Michael Rodriguez had a gold, of course. I'm believing we're forgetting a woman of importance, Sophia Segura. Faith Dillon.
Oh my God.
How can we forget Faith Dillon?
With the number 3 and the number 2 Hogo.
We'll come back to that.
No,
Let's have a whole
no.
section on it. Okay, I'll do the
No,
right
we're
now.
talking about it now.
So Faith Dillon fought Skylar Park in
the finals.
after a long delay. While they set up the finals like they always do. They organize everything. They centralize to a couple center rings. The referees, they choose who's going to do the referee in the matches. I don't know how they did that at this event. And they get all the equipment ready. And what happened in that match?
Oh, so, and we only just like noted, okay, we're not referees. The job of the referee is to check the mouthpiece, they check the equipment, they check the hogos, they make sure, they're always, they're stopping like if somebody's thing isn't tight, or their wrist guard is,
Yep.
off, or their shin guard is off, or their belt is untied, or everything. Oh, but they didn't notice that Skylar Park was wearing a size 2 Hogu, smaller target, versus Faith Dillon is wearing a size 3 Hogu, which is the size that is sanctioned and F57 are supposed to wear. So, I'm sorry, how do you not know? How do you not notice? I'm kind of disappointed with the parks. I have to say that I know Don doesn't like to be, I go there. Don won't go there. I will go there. That's very disappointing because I really like Skylar Park. We really like the Park family. I know you're Canadian, but this is they knew. They knew that she had a size 2 Hogo on, and they got away with it.
Yeah.
And it is, this, and the referees were so bad. They didn't notice anything.
And that particular referee not only did he not notice that, oh, that's a 2, that's a 3, oh, what's going on there? Didn't notice that. And actually, frankly, nobody else did either. Until after the event, we see some photographs. The referee forgot to give the 2 coaches their red and blue cards.
In the beginning.
At the beginning. Another ref in the corner had to stand up, and then they started waving at him, hey, don't forget to give out the cards. And he goes, oh, yeah.
Yeah, give the red and blue cards.
He's
to
a
the
very
coaches.
young guy. Don't know how much
coaches.
experience he had, but...
we saw some comments that were like, the local tournaments do better than this. So, this is one of my issues with the referees. It's like, they're volunteers. I don't know who's training them. I know that PATU and WT and USAT, they make a ton of money off referees training and international IR referees training. But they don't get paid. They get per diem. So
Right.
it's like a reimbursement for some things. They get like, $150 a day. I think maybe now they're getting like maybe a hotel payment. But before they wouldn't get their travel reimbursed.
Yeah. No.
It was just maybe a hotel. So they don't get their food reimbursed. I know they have like snacks there.
Well,
in
the
the
per
back.
diem is supposed to cover that.
But that's not getting paid.
Are you
And
really
they're
gonna-
there like 14 hours, 12 to 14 hours a day.
Yeah. I've flown to South America many times. You think a normal person is going to fly from like California to Rio de Janeiro which is a very long ways and a lot of hours in the air and expense, even in coach, discount coach, it's thousands of dollars. Who's going to do that to go get $150 a day for 2 days of per diem? Sorry.
Well, that's the facts, and what it does is it raises questions and causes opinions,
Right.
which we're trying to avoid. It's just not how other professional sports are done. And at a G level, this is a professional sport.
Right.
You have funded athletes that are competing,
Right.
from whether it's WCAP or the USA Academy or TOPS. The athletes are funded,
Right.
and they are considered professional athletes.
Yes,
at this G level, because it's all about world points to get to the Olympics, which we didn't discuss. It's a G20. Isn't the Olympics a G20?
Yeah.
The next highest rated is the world, which is a G16, 14?
14.
14.
Yep.
So, I mean, these athletes work really, really hard, and I don't think they're funded that much. It's not like they love this sport, okay?
Yeah.
This is what they do.
Yeah.
They love this sport. And I think a lot of these referees do it too because they love the sport as well.
Right.
But they're, in professional sports like boxing or MMA,
Yeah.
these referees make like thousands of dollars per match, not just for the day, per match. And if they don't do well, guess what? They don't get invited back.
Right.
And that's how you rise. I did the research, and I've got PDF files I can support what I'm talking about. If anybody wants the data, I've looked it up. But Taekwondo is not like that. This is the only I don't know how judo is. It might be similar. I didn't research judo, but it is ridiculous that we've got these amateur, inexperienced, like at this tournament, this 2023 Pan Am Series Brazil, the referees, don't get me wrong, God bless them, they spent all day there, and I'm sure they love the sport. I don't know who took them out to dinner the night before, but I'm just saying, they were inexperienced, they were ill-trained, they were inserting themselves constantly, weren't they?
Yeah,
Into the match. It was like the poor opponent, the poor athletes were not just fighting each other, they were fighting the referee and the freaking Daedo system that didn't work.
Yeah, so 2 examples on that front. One, we've already mentioned Skylar Park and the unfortunate Hogu incident, but in that final match with Faith, they called Skylar 3 times for not fighting while she was engaged and clashing and intertwined, intertwined with Faith. It was just absurd.
Oh, and then Michael Rodriguez.
I was going to point that out.
I posted that clip. He gets a turning back kick, which is 4 points. And so and then the guy tries to kick him, misses, and falls down out of bounds, which is a gamjong. So it should have been 5 points for Michael Rodriguez. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. What do they do? What does this referee do? He looks like he's lost. He gives Michael Rodriguez a gamjong, which gives the opponent 1 point, and doesn't give him the other 2 points. And the whole time, Michael Rodriguez is like going, 2, 2, 2. Now I don't know why there wasn't a protest. We don't see.
They'd already lost their card, but they still could have shouted it out.
Well, and he's signaling 2 points, 2 points. And then he gets a gamjong. Guess what for? Turning his back and running away. What do you do when you do a turning back kick? You're turning your back. And this stupid ref, I'm sorry, I went there. The stupid ref gives him a gamjong for a turning back kick because he turned his back.
Yeah. So that was
running away.
That was the most egregious example we thought of.
And we heard from a reputable coach that's not the worst he's seen.
Yeah. And
I was like, what's worse than that?
The thing is, that wasn't like, in a first round match in the first round. That was in the 3rd round of the final against Brian Salazar, who's world silver medalist in that weight class, at this event. The final 3rd round, it was close. It was like a very low score when this happened. I think it was 3-1 or something. It became 4-2. It should have been 7-1.
Yeah, it should have been 7-1.
Yeah, and this, unfortunately for Michael, he was very strong. He came on and he won that round 9-3, 9-6, something like that.
This is the other thing. When you've got And this is sad. This is what athletes have to overcome. They have to overcome the bad Daedo PSS system that doesn't work. The whole thing should be, I don't know why PATU has a exclusive contract with Daedo. It should be null and void because it doesn't work. We have the data. If anybody wants the data, we posted it. But for new members, we have the data. We've analyzed this. PSS, Daedo PSS doesn't work. It's inconsistent and it has violated any contracts they've had with anybody because it doesn't work. It is tampering with points. It is damaging athletes' points that, like Lauren Williams.
Oh, that was outrageous. That was a
referee call.
Yeah, it was another referee call. This was in Belgian Open in the final, and
point tampering.
She's fighting China, her nemesis Mingyu Zheng from China, and it's a very close match. It's in the third round, and it's like the score's like Lauren's ahead like 9-8 or something like that, and so there's like 2 seconds left. They're up against the sideline, and the referee says
it's
go.
Over.
And they clash. They're both trying to score, and they're kicking each other, and their arms flying and kicking and kicking. Time expires. The referee goes like this to
gives Lauren a game
end the match, but no, he thinks the match is still going, and he turns to Lauren and he gives her a gamjam,
which makes it 10-10.
Yeah,
and then they give the match to China
for putting up her knee to block or whatever. And even though time was out, they let the score go to 9-9 or 10-10.
It was 10-10.
Okay.
And then they gave it to China.
And China had an advantage on whatever the combination of points that you get during the round, touches and all that.
It shouldn't have been because of Gamjong.
It shouldn't have been.
And it was
even the Chinese coach at the end of the match went, "Oh, we lost."
Yeah, they knew they lost.
and then
Lauren
victory.
And then they called it. They protested it,
yes.
But they still gave it to China after the protest.
Made an official protest after the event. And we read from Lauren Williams' post.
Her post, which was very gracious. I mean,
so
that girl
gracious.
is a good sport. I don't even...
That they said, yes, you won. And we've sanctioned the ref. We don't know what kind of sanction.
Yeah, they sanctioned the ref.
Yeah.
And they said she won. But guess what? It's too late.
Yeah.
She's damaged.
Doesn't get the extra points.
I'm sorry, but that's a lawsuit. You sue over damages. She did not get to progress. She did not get to go to the finals.
Right.
So I'm sick and tired of these ill-trained, inexperienced, and egotistical, bought off and maybe biased paid for referees that get per diem and are volunteers that are inserting themselves and throwing matches and point tampering. The Daedo PSS is already bad enough.
Yes.
We don't need the ill-trained, inconsistent. There's no standardized training for the referees in WT Taekwondo, and that is a problem from the top down.
Thank you. The referee should be close to invisible, and only
And we've seen some good tournaments where they are.
Yeah, somebody steps out of bounds, you stop it because you stepped out of bounds, and that's a gamjong. Or if they're in a tight clinch and they won't break up, then you break it up. But stop inserting yourself to make yourself look like you're involved.
And that is actually, if you go back and watch a lot of these matches from this tournament, it looked like these referees were like right out of the gate. They looked like teenagers, except they weren't. But they acted like, oh, what do I do? I'm just gonna make a call. After they were just clashing, they're like, I'm gonna gamjong you for not fighting. They were totally fine. There's a 3-second. So the rules are, if you don't fight for 3 seconds, they give you a warning, okay? Then you have 3 more seconds. It used to be 5 seconds, then you had 5 more seconds. Now it's 3 seconds as of 2021, I believe.
Yep.
And so you have 3 seconds, and they warn you, and then you have 3 more seconds, and somebody has to kick, or somebody's gonna get a gamjong.
Yeah, you can't back up once you've been warned. And so, just another one going back to men's heavyweight. Carlos Sansores from Mexico, world champion and #1 ranked in Olympic Taekwondo, he got called for the same thing. Like, this is the top guy in this weight class in the world, and he got called for not fighting when they were both standing there for 2 seconds. You either give it to both of them, you don't give it to one. He lost the round 1-0 because he got called for not fighting. He ended up winning the match, but come on, this is absurd.
I'm just getting tired of gamjongs calling matches as point tampering, and it's biased. And the whole purpose of having a PSS system, electronic scoring system, true score, whatever, is to eliminate the bias and the manual opinionated points. And yet that's what a lot of these matches are being thrown because of their referees and the judges on the side, which is all opinionated judging.
Right.
You know, it's like Poomsae, which is why Poomsae isn't Olympic sport. I think it should be.
No.
I don't know how, but it's opinionated. It's like ice skating.
Right.
Ice skating is an Olympic sport.
Well, yeah.
But
figure
it's
skating, figure
opinionated,
skating.
and so you're going by judges' deductions of their opinion that this wasn't right.
Yeah.
You know.
So
There, how much money is being thrown at KPMP and Daedo? There should be one standardized PSS system.
right, and
There
KPMP is better right now.
Oh, by far. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some few issues, but like Daedo, you can't even go through a match without something being disconnected, or they got to fiddle with the headgear, or the technician isn't working it right. They can't get the. I mean, don't even.
They leave it on test mode.
And then they have all these different softwares like at Guadalajara, like, oh, we have to go to the Olympic software system. Why weren't you using that in the beginning? Why?
Yeah.
I don't. Daedo is trash. It should be completely discontinued. We don't need Gen 3. We don't need a little square where to punch with like hand guards.
Yeah. So
Where you can't make a fist.
we noticed that.
Sorry, I get passionate.
No, you don't have to be sorry.
It's upsetting to
Punching.
me. It's not fair to the athletes.
Yeah, punching at this event, we noticed that more punches are being scored and a greater percentage of punches are being scored. But, they're not always right on target.
It's not consistent.
Jonathan Healy won a round by punching his opponent in the arm. The guy was sort of turned sideways and Jonathan hit him in the arm. He won the match, so good for him. He won the round 1-0 with a punch to the arm shoulder area. But judges can't really see. I actually did see a couple of the judges on the sidelines stand up so they could see.
Those are the good ones.
Good ones. Take away the chairs during the round,
They
so
need
they
to
have to
stand
stand up and walk around.
Like the middle referee has
Yeah.
to stand, and then you notice the middle referee's always moving around.
Yeah.
You need the side ones doing the same thing. I actually did a screenshot. This is. I won't go there. Never mind. There's like 7 referees and technicians per match.
Right.
That's expensive.
Oh, that's what we were talking about.
Even though they're volunteer and getting per diem.
Yeah.
Why do you need 7 people?
That's what we were saying. Maybe
per match.
You and I were talking a few days ago, and it was maybe they should do away with the PSS.
Get away with it, and then have like 3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 judges around the outside plus the center ref.
You need the replay.
Yeah, you need replay. IVR stays. You need that for face kicks and all
Yeah,
that.
like football.
Yeah, but
professional
back to
sport.
the old point scoring where if 2 out of 3 judges says, oh, that's a chest kick or that's a head kick, yeah, you're good. Why not?
I don't know if I have anything else. I think I've bitched enough.
Yeah, well, we got a little excited.
We try to keep it positive.
Yeah, Taekwondo had
USA got 9 medals.
And they qualified all 8 athletes
Yes, all
at the
8
Pan Am
athletes.
qualifier before. In their first match, they didn't need a rebound match like Mexico did to get their 8 athletes in. Brazil got 7 athletes in, so good for you, Brazil. And all the Pan American countries, we love you guys.
We do. I love all the athletes. It's why I get so upset when they're being all screwed over and you've got all these top down, like corruption crap going on in the backgrounds, causing point tampering. I don't like that. It makes me very upset.
I believe everyone gets very upset with that.
And these are supposed to be like PATU is supposed to be a non-profit 501c3. Like, where's your taxes? There's no public taxes been available since 2017.
Right.
Where is it?
A final kudos handed out. My awards go to, in addition to U.S. athletes, to Gareth Brown and Stephen Landon, who seemingly juggled all the athletes. We had 16 athletes. 8 of them went to
From
finals.
academy tops and
all the professional athletes that we sent there.
They coached all of them, yeah.
Good job. Well done. Let's do it again.
All right. Are we anything else to
No,
add?
I'm done.
We all good?
We're good.
Okay.
I have to go back to my course. Banquet beer.